They did.
And all the I'm gonna use a reference, all the tomfoolery the committee put everybody through.
Huh. Well, I have a differing opinion on some of the stuff. There was some tomfoolery by the committee because I personally feel like if you are not the best team in your own division, there's so many ways I could. Boy, there's so many ways I could twist it if I really wanted to, and really, really go into it. You feel me? But I'm not. I'm not rocking with that tonight. Tonight, I'm chilling, and tonight I am going to roll with it. That's what I'm doing.
Where do we begin on this expedition of a show today?
So, man, the easiest thing I say to start off with, little NXT and A. Um, there really wasn't a lot going on in the world of TNA today. So if you are a big TNA fan, forgive us. We'll give you a little bit more in-depth coverage this week. The main thing, of course, that happened with NXT and TNA is NXT try to burn up the TNA ring, and they're gonna have a match that is basically a rehashing of one of the matches from the event they had where everybody was focused on each other. I don't like what's happening because I feel like it's redoing the same things over and over, and I don't like repetition. Like, do something different, champion versus champion. You know what I'm saying? Some match with some implications or something like that. Just not another multi-person match. But I ain't gonna spend too much time on that because I have some other things that I would definitely like to throw a few words out about later.
All
Oh,
right then.
TNA, I'm getting your deal with AMC
Hmm.
that starts next year.
Oh,
That
they
makes
actually got
Crystal
a
happy.
stash. They actually got a TV station.
Yeah, and then and you need to make the wrestlers happy now because the wrestlers talking about the storylines suck. So your wrestlers are telling you that you're not doing a good job, your talent. So do something about that.
And that leads us to NXT deadline.
Hmm.
And right at the gate, we kicked it off with an NXT Championship match between Wiki Saints defending against who he defended that against.
Who? Who? Who?
The man known as Oba Femi. And all of a sudden, Ricky Saints' worst nightmare came to fruition. The man that you beat for the title was the man who took the title from you. NXT is now in the hands of the ruler once again.
And it also means that the ruler will be the one facing Virgil Cody. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Cody Raheem Rhodes at the Saturday night's main event.
Then we went on to have a women's Iron Survivor match in which the WWE Involved Women's Champion, Kendra Gray, is the winner, which means she gets a shot at JC Jane in the NXT Women's Championship.
Well, we know
Now,
Jason Tatum is going to have her belt at least through one title defense.
man, if you want to go into the details, Gray pinned Jordan, and Jordan pinned Gray, Vice pinned Gray. It's a whole lot of, but in the end, Gray ended up with 3 uh, counts, and everybody else had about at least 2 or 1. So that's how Miss Gray got that. All Ethan Page, he was in the match against Mr. Iguana. And a match that was very brutal for the North American Championship. But Ethan Page survives the brutal match while his face covered in what they like to call the Crimson Mask. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I didn't see blood happening. Did you?
I always expect blood. I'm not surprised when it don't happen, but I always expect blood because they take it too far too fast. So I always expect blood.
Easy Dame and Tatum Patchley. They got to duke it out in the ring, and it wasn't for Colleen getting involved. Tatum Patchley would have defeated Easy Dame, but that was not the case. Easy Dame gets the win. I just think they should just like tell him Pastor just go completely crazy. That way she can just run through the roster. Because nobody would know how to defend her. I think that's what they should do with Tatum Paxley. By the way,
Yeah.
by the way, a question. How do you feel about Easy Day?
I don't really feel anything about Easy Dane, to be honest with you.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what I feel about Easy Day. You know what? Sorry to tell you this, Shawn Michaels. I don't think there's a lot of people that care about Easy Day. Easy Day does nothing for us.
Nothing.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Then we had the men's Iron Survivor match as the main event. Leon Slater, Javon Evans, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, and Miles Bourne, who will challenge the new NXT champion, Femi, some point down the road.
I love some point down the road. Why can't we just have a consistent date, a specific date for it? But that's just me.
So, Evans pinned Slater. Lennox pinned Evans. Hendry pinned Bourne. So, Evans, Leonard, and Hendry all at one. Slater pinned Hendry, so Slater's name is in there. Bourne pinned Lennox, so everybody has one fall each. Who can get the deciding fall?
The young OG.
Javon Evans pins Miles Bourne with a few seconds left to get the dub. Javon Evans will be fighting over Femi for the NXT Championship. What a show! Finna go off the air and wait a minute, hold on. Wait, we're not done. We're not done yet. Why we have a video package of somebody walking down the street? What is going on? What is why did the lights go out? What is oh hell. Tony D'Angelo is back.
Yes, he is.
The dawn of NXT has returned. And he planted Javon Evans and stared a hole through Obafemi, who looked like he saw a ghost. Any thoughts, sir? Because that's how NXT deadline ended.
Well, just the guy who pinned him, so that's gonna have a little bit of interest to him. Now, I will say this. Actually, I'll let you finish with this. We do got something we got to go over TNA real quick.
Go ahead. That's how NXT ended.
Okay, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to say. So TNA Final Resolution did happen. Started with the countdown. In the countdown, Cedric Alexander fought Eric Young, and he beat Eric Young. I mean this with the most disrespect as possible. Nobody cares anymore because you've done nothing with Cedric Alexander since been there, and Eric Young's done nothing in months. So nobody really cares. But there you go. All right. Next, we have the System. Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers with Alicia Edwards against C.W. Anderson, Brock Anderson, and Bear Bronson. Of course, the System won the match. Glad to see Brock there. Maybe he'll get a TNA contract. That's Arn Anderson's son, by the way, for those who don't know. CW Anderson is a storyline cousin, and then Bear Bronson is just a big man, a big meaty man. So if one particular lady is watching, they got a big meaty man on for you. All right, so that was the pre-show. So Final Resolution starts with Mike Santana starting his revenge tour with Charlie Dempsey. Of course, Mike Santana beat Charlie Dempsey. If you are surprised by that, just don't do it. Just pretend you're not. We're not going to do that. All right, we had a World Tag Team Champions match. The Inspiration, which is Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, fought Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard and beat them. Not surprised by that at all. Let's see. I guess there's really nothing else to say about that. So, Director of Authority Santino Marella asked the liaison, his daughter Ariana Grace, for help in the investigation to find the NXT Outlaws that tried to burn the ring, do all that. So that'll be interesting to see what angle they're going to take with that. We then had a street fight between not Zack Ryder, but Matt Cardona and Mance Warner. And of course, Matt Cardona beat Mance Warner in a street fight. Steph DeLander was there too, but I mean, Matt Cardona is a really good wrestler. Zack Ryder can't beat anybody. All right, International Championship match. Stax versus Steve Macklin. And the new TNA International Champion is Stax Lorenzo, now just Stax. He was accompanied by Lexis King, and he's a new TNA International Champion. So Steve Macklin with a short reign for a second reign as
basically another NXT superstar taking the TNA title.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say, if you're going to take a TNA title, and this is no disrespect to the world titles or anything, this is the best looking title TNA has. So if I'm taking the title, I want to take something that look good. That's this right here. So yeah, if you haven't had a chance, go look up the International. You'll like what you see. You would definitely like what you see. So Stax, he's just going by Stax now and not chanting Stax Lorenzo anymore. It's just Stax now. So Stax did what needed to be done. So yeah, we had that belt switch. It's always interesting, let's say. If nothing else, it's interesting. And then to continue on, Knockouts World Championship, Yi Lee versus Zaya Brookside. So, if you watch wrestling, you can kind of tell who's winning this match. Yi Lee with her first title defense. Congratulations for your title defense. Glad you actually had the title too. And love it. Danny Luna came out and attacked Lee and Zaya Brookside. And then Indy Hartwell came out to run Danny Luna off after the match. So, a little something brewing there. Smells like a 4-way or a 3-way. So Stax celebrates his title victory with the other Outlaws. We're not going to that right now. We'll talk about that next week. The Rascals versus Order 4. The Rascals won. Of course, we have the original Rascals. Desmond Xavier, formerly known as Wes Lee, Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, and then Myron Reed, their added guy. And that was, of course, John Schuyler, Mustafa Ali, Jason Hodge, and Special Agent Zero are Order 4. All right, tag team title match. Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe, which are two of the other Outlaws, NXT Outlaws, had a match against the Hardys. And, of course, they lost to the Hardys because we already had one belt. We weren't going to have another one. But, interesting enough, Guess who decided to show up? The Righteous. If you know who the Righteous are, they were in AEW for a while and several other of the smaller promotions. Vincent and Dutch, they've showed up and they will be challenging the Hardys next, it looks like. Eric Young says there's a disease in TNA wrestling. He's going to cleanse it. So I guess they're trying some new storylines. X Division Championship, Leon Slater versus AJ Francis. Leon Slater defeated AJ Francis. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. None of these are not things that are shocking. There's going to be a dog collar match Thursday between Danny Luna and Indy Hartwell. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not even going to say anything else about it at all. I'm just going to let you know that happened. TNA World Championship, Frankie Kazarian versus JDC. Frankie Kazarian, of course, defeated JDC. That's, again, no shock, no surprise. None of this really was a surprise. Then they had a brawl at the end, but we'll, like I said, kind of talk about some of those things a little bit later on in our truncated version here. There's that. Honestly, you know, I'm a big AEW guy. I got a couple of comments. Let's go through them real quick. If we have comments. Let's see.
We only got one.
Yeah, we got one from Daniel Berry. He says, "Happy Monday. Hello, everyone. Appreciate you, Daniel Berry, for tapping in with us." We're just going to go ahead and go to what else we're going to talk about tonight. AEW, we could technically talk about, but, I mean, the main things that happen on AEW is, respectfully, we had the Hangman Page interrupted another thing with the group of tough guys, I'm going to call them, the Ops. And Swerve wasn't there that week because he had another thing, but it's not a lot of individual stuff. When I say that, I'm not saying it to actually down AEW. I like what they're doing. They're continually building those stories. So it's not like not talking about it this week means that there's going to be a whole bunch of different stuff next week. It'll just be continuing on the storylines that they've actually been going through. I will say one thing from AEW. Mercedes Moné is no longer Ring of Honor champion, television champion. She lost that belt back to Red Velvet. Just want to throw it out there for those who are lovers of her, because, you know, I was kind of surprised that she lost, but she did. All right, sir. Was there anything from, well, I know you want to go over Saturday night's main event, so have at it, my good man.
All right, so we have Saturday night's main event this week, and it's centered around one man and one man only. It is the final time that we will see John Cena compete in the squared circle. He has already come out and said once he's done on Saturday, December 13th, that is it. Do not ask for him to come out of retirement to wrestle. He has done it for 23 years, and he would like to close that chapter. Even though he's not leaving the wrestling business, he is just closing the chapter on in-ring competition. All right. Who is John Cena facing? That would be the Ring General Gunther for Saturday night's main event. And this is the man, in my opinion. This is the man, in Kuma Kane's opinion, that is going to beat John Cena at Saturday night main event and send the Never Seen 17 champion off to retirement. Anything you would like to add, sir?
So I want to have a quick thought on this whole tournament. This was an opportunity for WWE and for John Cena to put over new guys. And what did we get instead? John Cena versus Gunther. An established star versus John Cena. when I say like WWE does not do a good job of trying to build up new stars, this is what I'm talking about. You could have had Bronson Reed into the tournament and win. But what did you do instead? You got a guy that already has done garbage in Gunther, right? He's already been great. He's already had some garbage stuff. He's established. The man's almost 40 years old. What happened to building up the next generation? This is not doing that. Gunther versus John Cena in his last match does nothing for anyone but Gunther. This whole tournament should have been young guys fighting each other for the opportunity to fight John Cena. Young guys from the main roster, young guys from NXT. Hey, even if you want to include a couple of young guys from TNA. There should not have been anyone in there that was an established star. That's where this tournament lost its soul and lost my interest. So it's John Cena's last match. I'm not a John Cena hater, but I have to be honest. There's not a lot of luster left on the fact that it's going to be Gunther versus John Cena. Gunther doesn't need the rub.
He's going to get the rub.
But he doesn't need it. That's the point.
Yeah. I had a feeling they were going to do somebody John Cena's never faced.
Yeah, it could have been a lot of young guys he's never faced. They could have all fought. He could have had one of these young guys that he put over.
So they went with Gunther. So for the first time, it'll be Gunther versus John Cena, and Gunther's going to win.
Well, the first time in WWE, not the first time.
When did they?
They fought back in the day when Gunther was fat.
Interesting. Also, there's two other matches on here so far, but I should believe there should be some more on here, depending on how this week goes. But it is a kind of like a Survivor Series type deal. It's NXT versus the main roster. So, as my co-host mentioned earlier, the WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes will be taking on the NXT Champion Obafemi. Triple H. May I speak for you, sir?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Triple H. Paul Levesque. I know that Cody Rhodes is QB1. I know he is the flagship star of the WWE right now. But can you do me a favor and just use logic, common sense for this? Because in logic, common sense, the ruler is beating Cody Rhodes. Did I say anything wrong?
I do one better.
Okay.
The ruler should be facing John Cena in his final match.
That would be interesting.
That's what should be happening. Would you like to know some more people should have been in that tournament? One Carmelo Hayes, one Trick Williams.
Actually, Carmelo Hayes was in the tournament. He got beat.
I know. I'm just giving you a list of names that should have been in the tournament. I'm not
Trick
saying some
Williams.
of them were not in the tournament. I'm saying these are the people who should have been in the tournament. Leon Slater, another good name that could have been in the tournament. You had at least one of the guys from Dark State or Trash State, however you like to say it. I like to just go with Trash State, but either way.
Even though you can't stand that group.
Yeah, because it's not about if I can stand them or not. I can't stand them. But it's the fact that they didn't have to win, but that's the point of having a tournament. Give guys an opportunity. And I don't feel like that was done.
Another match that is on the card for Saturday's main event. And I don't even know how this match even come about, but I am intrigued about this one. Usually it's my man Kuma King who's intrigued by seeing cakes, no matter what they are, as long as they are cakes and he's interested. But I'm interested in this match. I just don't know how it came about. We have Bayley versus Soruka.
I'm going to enjoy the match. Don't get me wrong. But there's just no build-up as to why it's happening. But I'm not upset with it at all.
I'm trying to figure out when did this match get official.
Because, Bailey cakes and then Slender Soul Ruka with those little cupcakes. It's gonna be a nice match.
The mixed cupcakes at that.
Yeah, I was gonna leave that for you because I knew you was gonna fill that one in for me.
I'm expecting. When did y'all decide to have this one?
You're not mad though, are you?
I'm gonna enjoy it. I get to see how Soruko fails against a established woman like Bailey,
Established.
even though she's in a split personality mindset right now.
I like the established. I like the way you said established. I rocks with that.
I'm following your trend when you was going off about Gunther being established already going against John Cena.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm just following the trend here. But this is what we are going to do, Mr. McCain. Outside the matches that are on the card, give me one female match from NXT and main roster you would like to see, and one men's match from NXT and main roster you would like to see.
So I'd like to see Trick Williams have a main roster match, and I would like to see him go up against the other champion, one Peanut Brittle Feel, aka CM Punk.
Ooh, Trick Williams versus CM Punk.
I would like to see that match. On the women's side, give me Kalani Jordan against AJ Lee.
So you picked the husband and wife duo, CM Punk and AJ Lee.
Ironically, I did, and it wasn't even because they're husband and wife. But yep, that's how it ended up.
Interesting. Trick Williams versus the world champion, and Kalani Jordan, who is trying to get out of her good girl stage to go against somebody who's known for being
Firmly a
crazy.
good girl. Crazy, but firmly a good girl.
I was saying, known for being crazy, and then AJ Lee.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I don't even know if Kalani Jordan could handle that, to be honest.
Hey, it's not about handling.
Interesting. I thought long and hard about this. And, for the men, I would like to see Javon Evans on the NXT side.
I knew you was going to pick him.
And across the ring from Mr. Javon Evans, representing the main roster, Solo Sikoa.
You trying to get Javon Evans killed?
No, because I know Solo Sikoa gonna do something to make me laugh. Solo Sikoa has become very entertaining in the ring for me. With the MFT or without the MFT. Yep. Solo has become entertaining in the ring.
I mean, he has. I'm just saying, you're trying to get him killed, though. You're trying to laugh while you see your boy, the young OG, get murdered.
Nah, Gunther didn't murder him, so he'll survive Solo Sikoa. Solo don't hit hard as Gunther.
It's true.
Because I thought Gunther was going to cave his chest in.
Solo going to hit him with one of them Samoan drops. It's going to be it for him.
And plus, Javon Evans can do something that I enjoy watching Solo take, like during Cutter. On the lady side, the lady side was more difficult for me. So I had to think about all the ladies in NXT and all the ladies on the main roster and who would I really enjoy watching if they was to put this on Saturday's main event.
There's a lot of people I would enjoy watching, but I wanted to try to do a contrast of personality with somebody who I feel like will work good together.
And as crazy as it is, give me Blake Monroe.
Of course.
And I'll have her go against
Tiffy Time.
Nope. I'll put Blake Monroe against Io Sky.
Okay.
Because Blake Monroe has this gimmick going on where it's the dark side trying to influence the light side to say we need to work together to make everything we want happen. And you're gonna need that dark side to put down Io Sky.
Okay. So I feel it. I Let's just take a few minutes, right? We only had to take a long time. Let's just take a few minutes here. Topic was brought up last week. I want to get your thoughts on it, and I'll give my thoughts on it. So the question was, why haven't we had African American wrestlers like reach the level of like a Stone Cold, a Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Bret Hart, so on and so forth? What's your thoughts on that, sir? Why do you think that has not happened? And the argument, I know everybody said, "Oh, The Rock was half black and he was." I want to kind of steer the conversation towards a fully African American male. No, no Samoan mixtures, nothing like that. African American males.
What's the term I'm looking for?
Glass,
Preconceived notion
glass
from
ceiling.
from back in the day. Maybe the idea of how blacks are portrayed in the world that might turn people a certain way. I mean, let's talk about it because you brought up a family member of the wrestling family, right? In The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing you, you'll probably say, yeah, The Rock is actually half black, but you believe that Jay Uso is more black than The Rock, right?
Nope. I don't believe that there's a no jokes aside. There's not a more black than one black person black because everybody's black is different. Jay Uso is more rowdy, but I'm gonna say this. I think for me, the issue is the people who are the decision makers don't look like those people and don't care about those people. So they're not concerned with building them up and making them stars. I'll give you a perfect example of guys that could have been a star, right? One very, 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 very good example. Bobby Lashley, multiple stints in WWE, 5'2" player. The worst part about Bobby Lashley is talking, and he almost always had MVP with him. So why wasn't he a star? Because he didn't get the same opportunities. He was there every week grinding. They started to do the thing with him and the Street Profits right before he left. You knew he was leaving. What was the point of even doing that? You know he wasn't signing a new contract. That's the type of thing. You give him his best angle right before he leaves. You know, we can go back in the day, think about guys like Tony Atlas, Soul Man Rocky Johnson. Mr. T was wrestled for a bit, right? Like, there's so many guys you can bring up. Booker T, even Booker T, he had some success, but can we honestly say that he wouldn't have had better success if people that look like you and me were able to have the same opportunities? I don't think the opportunities are the same. Meaning, when you come in, I say the word glass ceiling. I think when you come in, there's always a ceiling to where you want it to be. So when there's a ceiling where you want it to be, you can't ascend past that ceiling 9 out of 10 times. Every once in a while, you have a guy maybe get past that ceiling a little bit. But I feel like it's mainly we want these people here. And a lot of those guys are people that look like us. So the thing about why I like the people that were brought up in the question, like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, these were people who were the top person on the card for an extended period. Are we saying that, black people can't carry that load? Can't shoulder that load? Are we saying that black people don't have the intelligence to be the top guy, the wittiness, the likability? What is it that you have a preconceived notions about that's stopping you and has stopped you in the past from pulling the trigger on guys that had the ability? You just didn't give them the opportunity. Why are the opportunities not there? That's the question.
Okay.
And you know what?
It only takes one person to believe. That's it. It only takes one person.
Yeah, but see, you have to realize the wrestling business is a predetermined business. There's only so far that you can take yourself out and do yourself. It's still preconceived. So there's already, this is where I want this person at. This is their ceiling. Why aren't we allowing the talent? Why aren't we allowing the charisma and all those things, and we're not worrying about this person or that person's race? Because it has to be either conscious or subconscious, because all the people getting those big pushes happen to not be black. Right now it's Samoan. Like the Samoan guys are really getting it. That's the thing right now for sure. But it's like they're trying to push the narrative that they're black enough for you guys with certain ones, like Jey Uso, you mentioned earlier. Another one, of course, Jacob Fatu, right? But they're still Samoan. I would like for us to have people approaching that level that are black. That's what I would like. And I think that would get people who may be casual fans to lock in a little bit. Because whenever you see somebody that looks like you have success, it becomes a little more interesting to you as a product. One of the things I like about AEW, who's one of the top guys in AEW, whether he has a championship or not? My guy Swerve. They have built him to be one of the top guys. He was in WWE. He didn't do it in WWE. But he's one of those guys in AEW. That's the interesting thing. So here's what we're going to do, good people. We're going to continue this conversation next week. We would love to hear your comments on this conversation as well, your thoughts. We're going to dig into this conversation, more on our next week's episode. Anything else you would like to throw out, Playmaker?
I don't know. I have nothing.
All right. Y'all know the time of year. Make sure you're checking on your people, whether you feel that everything's okay with them or not. Take the time, especially those who have, lost siblings, spouses, families, parents. It's a difficult time of year for those people. I am one of them, myself, so I understand. So make sure you check on your people. Just make sure everything's okay with them. And it's never where you start, good people. It's always where you finish. Short show tonight. Your boys will be back with a full episode and some more comments and commentary next week. But until then, make sure y'all ready. Make sure y'all tune in. We're going to catch y'all next week. And we out.